Asher and Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
Wake up, America! It's time for the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY.com, West Palm Beach's #1 internet radio station. Here's your host, the Pipeman.
The night brings resting eyes. A look inside the mind. A chance to travel to other worlds and lands. Gaze into the dark and see the lost spark.
This is the Pipeman here on the Adventures of Pipeman W4CY Radio, and I'm here with our next guest who has some killer new music that we're going to share. So let's welcome to the show, Jupiter Cyclops. How are you?
What's up? Doing well. How you doing?
Oh, doing amazing. I'm loving the new track, Between Worlds. Tell us a little bit about that track and what it's all about and how it came about.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, we love that song too. I was just messing around with my Digitech whammy pedal, and it has that lower octave. And it's kind of just got that heavy chunk to it. And I just started fooling around. And Aaron was looking at me. He's like, "What's that?" And I was like, "I don't know. I'm just like playing around." And he's just like, "Remember that." And then it kind of just formed into that, became a song. And then we took it on a journey and wrote kind of like a Pink Floyd bridge to mix it up. I just had like fun with it. Yeah, it's awesome.
I love it. And you know what I love about that? Okay, so when I was a kid and I was learning how to play guitar, my dad said that I should quit the guitar because I sucked. And the reason he said that is because I used to love to just sit there with my guitar and experiment with what sounds I could get out of it.
Yeah.
So like I wasn't playing a song. I'm just like trying to hear, that exploring and experimentation of what sounds. And it sounds like that's how this song came about, which is, I think, how all songs should come about.
Yeah, that's how long our songs come about. I'll be playing something and I don't think it's anything. I might just be warming up my fingers. And then one of the other guys is like, "That sounds rad." And I was like, "I'll try to remember it." And then we turn it into something eventually.
Well, there you go. And so you got the new album coming out on the 19th, which is just a few days from now.
Yeah, Friday.
Tell us more about that. I love the name of the album. And it's almost like you almost want to mispronounce it. It's Age of the UFOnaut. It's like you really got to focus on it.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot. Like, what's a UFOnaut? And I was like, oh, it's a UFOnaut. And then people ask me that one. And I say, well, Aaron just made that word up. So I guess we lay claim to it.
There you go. And the way I thought of it, the minute I saw it as well, we talk about astronauts, which are us coming to another. To me, a UFOnaut is one of the astronauts coming from another planet to us.
Oh, you just nailed it. That's exactly what it is. Like, you got to look at it like we're the aliens.
Right.
Like we sit here and we worry about aliens, or we wonder if they're out there, and like the whole time we could be the aliens.
I think we totally are.
Yeah,
like,
some other species comes down. They're like, "What are these things?" We're
right?
just like, oh, you're the astronaut, not us.
I just happen to also have always thought that it's kind of egotistical of us to think that we're the only intelligent life in this universe that we can't even reach. Like we don't even know how far we could go, or if there's multiverses or whatever. And I find it hard to believe that in this whole massive whatever it is, that we're the only ones.
Yeah, I never thought it can't be. There's got to be something out there.
Exactly.
I mean, there's got to be. And even like in UFOnaut, it talks about not only like space beings, I guess, but it's like interdimensional beings. What if we're sharing this planet with something else or another version of ourselves, and we just can't see it, or it's just in another realm, and every now and then a wormhole accidentally might open up and you just wander into another dimension. You're like, all right, could be, who knows?
And it's not so far-fetched, because here's the way I look at it. Everything that was sci-fi when I was a kid is real life now, pretty much, almost all of it. And so I think sometimes, like, there may be truth in certain movies, and that's how maybe they ease us into it. So like now the big thing in all the Marvel movies and stuff is the multiverse.
Yeah.
And so I think, yeah, that's gotta exist, because that didn't just come out of nowhere.
Yeah, exactly. Like
You
when
know?
you watch Terminator and you're just like, oh, AI is never going to be a problem. That's not even a thing. And now we're like, oh, like it's here and it's doing stuff.
I said, because I'm a techie, I said in the 80s, I'm like, AI, then I said, was going to be the end of us. The machines are going to take over. Because think about it now, too, with the AI right now, we're teaching the AI. Like, that's why they're giving it to us for free, so that we can teach it everything it needs to know. And I don't know if you ever heard this, but so with the electric cars, there's a reason why they haven't become mainstream yet. And one of them is what they're trying, or not electric cars, but the self-driving cars, is because they haven't been able to figure out yet how to get the car itself or the AI to make a human decision. Like what they do is they do these testing going through a canyon like a molehill and like some mountain road, and there's a baby in the middle of the road. And what choice are you going to do? You know, are you going to drive off the cliff, or are you going to, run over the baby? So do you drive off the cliff to avoid the baby and kill yourself, or do you run over the baby to survive and kill the baby? 100% of the time, the AI will run over that baby.
Oh.
And it's kind of like in Star Wars. Okay, so when I forget which episode it is, but where the android is walking out into the molten lava, to save them, like, because that was that android's prime directive, was to protect them, so it would sacrifice itself to protect them. And what they're trying to do is get this AI in the cars, at least self-driving cars, to make a human decision. So like maybe a human would have decided to drive off the road and avoid the baby. And basically, as soon as they figure that out, we're not needed for driving cars anymore.
That's one way to see it.
Right?
But we're in Phoenix, Arizona right now, and we have Waymo. That's where they started it. So I see these cars all over the place with no one in them.
Oh, wow.
They're like Uber. You can call them up and get a ride to the bar.
That's way cool.
Wild. Yeah.
It blows my mind. Like when I'm in certain cars that if I rent a car and it's that one that, like, if you hit out of the lane, it's like pulls you back into the lane.
Yeah.
Partially self-driving. I hate that though, because I feel like it's somebody tugging at my steering wheel. It's like, when you're driving down the road and somebody freaks out and they tug on your steering wheel and you almost crash. That's what it feels like to me, because it like jerks you and like you try to pull it back. So it's a trip, but I would like to come out by you guys and take one of those Ubers. That would be weird.
Oh yeah, do it up.
Right?
It's a big attraction.
Maybe that's what you should do, is like for one of the songs on the album, do a video in one of those cars.
That's not a bad idea.
Right?
Yeah. Just in an AI car.
Yeah, exactly. So tell us about the rest of the album. Give us some good reasons why people should definitely listen to this. I mean, from the songs I've heard already, they definitely need to listen to it.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, man. Well, they should listen to it because it's awesome. And it's high energy.
I love it.
Like, it's everyone says it's like, they go, you might not like a band or what's on the radio. And they go, well, if you could form a band, like, what would you want to hear on it? What would you want if you saw a band? It's like, that's just what we did. And it's high energy. And we put a lot of work into it. We love the riffs. We love the old school style riffs and the kind of the groovy stuff. And, like Deep Purple, the Sabbath and all that. And we get into, some chiller stuff, but it's mostly like driving. It's the kind of music you listen to and you just kind of want to get up and do something. It just like energizes you. And it energizes me. That's what I love about it.
And there's a few things I love that what you said there. First of all, I love when an artist is writing the music that they would want to hear. Because that means they are a true artist and have a true love of the music. They're not going by some bullcrap formula or I'm going to do this to get famous or become a rock star or whatever, which doesn't even really exist anymore. You know, and if you're going to be in this business, you better love what you're doing and have a passion for music, because otherwise, why are you in it? That's my viewpoint.
Exactly.
There's no other.
That's our point. Yeah.
There's no other like benefit there. Like all the stuff you guys as artists have to put up with in the business and starving on top of it, you might as well love what you're doing, and you might as well think, you know, this is what I want to do, and I love doing it every day, and I have fun. And it sounds like that's exactly where you're at.
Oh yeah, that's all we do. We just write songs that we want to play.
There it is.
Yeah, that's it. And
then the riffs. You're so right. Okay, so I think we're making a comeback now, but there's been a time where like songwriting is so different. There's no riffs. There's less verses. There's no intro. There's no solos. There's no bridge. And I think we need to bring all that back. Like you mentioned Pink Floyd, you know, I couldn't even imagine not listening to like the whole album of Dark Side. I couldn't imagine just flipping through a Spotify playlist and hearing 5 seconds of that song, because you would be missing or 5 seconds of that album or any song on that album, because you'd be missing some of the best music ever.
Yeah, you need at least 3 minutes.
I know, right?
Get the gist of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're right. I mean, a lot of the songs, they just make them so short. I guess they want them on the radio, or they want them like in a TikTok video.
Right.
It's like 90 seconds. It might be all you get. So they just, like you said, there's no bridge, no intro. They just like, here's the hook, and, you know, take it and deal with it. And we just kind of like old songs. Like I said, like we write the music we want to hear, so we just want to have fun. And it's like more fun to play that stuff and kind of jam out with your friends. And
that's the key, jamming. I don't think the newer way of doing things has any jamming in it. You know?
Yeah, could be a thing.
You know,
I mean, we just like love the jam. That's how you know, sometimes they would like Aaron brings a riff in, or Jake or I, and it's just one riff. And it's just
right.
Like, all right, here's the riff. And then someone will just go to another place, and it's like, well, there's your verse, or there's your chorus, there's whatever it is. And so like, we just love that. And that's how we create stuff. It like makes it, you know, when you can bounce it off each other, it makes it so much better in it.
Yeah. And for us, the listener, it brings us on a journey. Like, I think songs nowadays don't bring you on a journey. It's like, okay, next stop. But, you know, the old school, what you're talking about, you know, you get to escape all the bull crap in life, go on a journey, and just like have a great time and like sink into the music, like become one with the music.
Yeah. I mean, that's just what we love. And you just get lost in it.
Exactly.
You keep going, and all of a sudden you got like an 8-minute song, and you're like, well, why can't it be 8 minutes?
Exactly. Exactly.
Like, that's what it is.
100%.
Yeah.
So tell everybody how they can reach out to you guys on socials, on the web, how they can get the new album, all that good stuff.
Socials, all we got a Facebook and Instagram. And I believe if you just search Jupiter Cyclops, I think Instagram is Jupiter Cyclops AZ, and you can, you know, get all our updates there. And if you want to DM us and ask a question, we'll probably answer it. And the new album will be downloadable on all streaming platforms, you know, Spotify, Apple, the whole thing. And I think CDs are actually being made. So if you want a CD, you can go to Rock Shots Records and go to their website and, order one, grab it. Get an actual physical copy that you can stare at like the old days.
I know, right? Like, it's the whole experience. I say all the time how, like, kids today, they're missing out on that whole experience. Like, an album wasn't just the music. It was just a full sensory experience, always.
Oh, yeah. That was one of my favorite things. I'd get a CD when I was a kid, and I'd put it in, and then take the booklet out and just, like, read it like a book. Or they had the ones that folded out. They were, like, really long.
Yeah.
I don't know why. That was fun when you were 12. But
totally.
It was an experience.
You know, and you could, like, kind of... Like, I used to go out on my balcony and just basically put the headphones in and then just look at all the artwork, read all the lyrics, all that stuff, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And it just, it it's the best therapy, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's great.
So is there anything else you want the listeners to know about you guys, or anything coming up that we haven't discussed yet?
I think we discussed everything. Yeah, the album comes out Friday. Get that, listen to it, stream it on all platforms. We're always in the studio writing music, so if you like that, there's definitely more to come. We got a lot more material.
Love it. Well, everybody's got to check you guys out. You're badass, and thanks for being on the Adventures of Pipe Man.
Awesome, and thank you very much, Pipe Man. Thanks for having me.
Anytime.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipe Man on W4CY Radio.